And I think that some of the funniest lines on the album are the biggest thing, whatever it had done was yesterday, and it was actually Klein's line, one line of it.
Paul McCartney, hailed as a songwriting genius, yet even legends collect enemies. Tonight we unpack 6 musicians who publicly clashed with Sir Paul and the stories behind the feuds. Needle down, enemy number 6, coming up with Phil Collins from Genesis with The Autograph Gate.
Well, there's just an empty space.
In 2002, Collins met McCartney at Buckingham Palace and asked him to sign a first edition Beatles book for his then wife. McCartney allegedly glanced at Heather Mills, handed the book back and said, "Oh Heather, our little Phil's a Beatles fan." Collins kept the slight bottled up for years, telling the Sunday Times in 2016, "I thought, you fucking bitch, I've never forgotten it." The put-down stung because Collins had grown up idolizing the Beatles, yet the encounter left him feeling patronized. Ever since, he's been candid about how the moment changed everything in his perception of Sir Paul, proving even rock royalty can bruise another star's ego in a heartbeat. Collins kept the hurt quiet, but the next guitarist blasted his disdain through a Marshall stack. Well, you get it. Next one is Keith Richards from the Rolling Stones with the blues cover Backlash.
Here comes that girl again, wanting to notice this, I don't know where.
Richards has long mocked McCartney's granny music, but the feud reignited when Paul told The New Yorker in 2021, "I'm not sure I should say it, but they're a blues cover band. That's sort of what the Stones are." Keith fired back by trashing Sgt. Pepper 9 months later. Some people think it's a genius album, but I think it's a mishmash of rubbish, kind of like Satanic Majesties. Oh, if you can make a load of shit, so can we. Richards' jabs frame McCartney as a polished pop craftsman divorced from rock's grit, while Paul's cover band quip suggests the Stones lack melodic range, a decades-old rivalry that still draws blood and ink. Richards mocked McCartney's studio sheen, but the next frontman buries it beneath stomps, glitter, and operatic thunder. No doubt, it's Freddie Mercury in the Opera House Showdown case. When Queen and McCartney both played Wembley for Live Aid, Mercury stole the afternoon with a 20-minute masterclass, while Paul closed the night battling a dead microphone on Let It Be, an awkward glitch even the BBC noted in its recap of the day. Backstage, crew members later recalled Freddie joking that no one follows Queen, and the running order was quietly shuffled so Paul wouldn't have to. Just a year earlier, Mercury had made clear where his Beatle loyalties lay, telling an interviewer, "The only person I wish I'd met was John Lennon. He was an absolute genius." Friends say the unspoken subtext was that McCartney's lighter pop held little allure for rock's resident showman. Whether rivalry or simple artistic disdain, Mercury's triumph that July afternoon cemented the narrative. Operatic flamboyance had outgunned melodic safety. Freddie's roar lit up stadiums. The very next name drew a hush, sending an Arctic draft straight through Abbey Road. Yoko Ono had a lot to say about Paul.
But I'm not the only one.
Years after Lennon's death, Ono rekindled tension by comparing the former partners. John was like Mozart, Paul was Salieri. The remark cut deep, casting McCartney as a competent craftsman overshadowed by true genius. Paul publicly shrugged it off, yet insiders recalled him saying that working with Yoko felt like creating art with someone who deliberately speaks another language. The lingering frost illustrates how artistic control, litigation over the Beatles' split, and competing narratives of genius turned cordial tolerance into lasting chill. That chill was nothing compared to the lyrical scalpel her partner was about to wield. After the group breakup, John had some critics towards his friend, or let's say his ex-friend. John Lennon's 1971 track, How Do You Sleep, wasn't just a diss. It was a full-on musical attack aimed squarely at Paul McCartney, fueled by lingering resentment, legal battles, and personal digs, especially those found on Paul's Ram album. Lennon channeled his frustration into lyrics dripping with sarcasm. The only thing you'd done was yesterday, and since you've gone, you're just another day. With George Harrison contributing stinging slide guitar and several Apple insiders joining the recording, the track became a pointed statement on a friendship turned sour. Lennon would later admit the song was harsh, but insisted McCartney started it. The whole episode marked a low point in their post-Beatles relationship and remains one of the most public and bitter breakups in rock history. Yet even Lennon's fury couldn't match the punk who hated McCartney, then turned his spite into a hit. Well, last but not least, Elvis Costello had some words about McCartney and the punk rebellion.
You and the contentious far away.
Bursting out of 1977 punk, Costello cast himself against millionaire megastars. Decades later, he recalled the pressure of writing with McCartney. All those eye-catching collaborations, such as writing with Paul McCartney. Who would have been arrogant enough to say you were going to get an invitation to write with such people? Before their 1987 sessions, Costello had derided the pop comfort McCartney represented, once telling friends he'd grown up fighting against comfortable millionaires singing silly love songs. Yet the ice-cold first meeting birthed Veronica and My Brave Face, proving antagonism can morph into mutual respect, and reminding viewers that even rivals can craft magic once the guitars come out.